everybody. Welcome to another episode of Ask the Zamboni Experts podcast. I'm Logan Wescott, Regional Sales Manager with Chris Sonterre, Roseville, Minnesota. Recently, I was just in Roseville, saw what an impressive facility that you guys have, and just wanted to get you on here and have a little chat with you kind of about your facility. You had new equipment showing up this week, all kinds of things going on out there in Minnesota, and obviously it's very cold here in February. So, Chris, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to be here. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, Chris, so tell us a little bit about your background. I know you're from the Roseville area when we talked earlier. You worked at other rinks, and this is really coming home for you. Tell us about your journey and kind of how you've gotten to where you are right now.
Yeah, I've been about 15 years now in this business, and I started here at Roseville, and then another job popped up for me where I actually went over to the city of Edina for many years to Braemar Ice Arena, which in Minnesota is known as a pretty legendary arena. Their rink was actually built in 1965. Roseville was actually built in 1969, so about 4 years apart from each other. Roseville is my home. It's where I grew up. I played hockey here. I went to high school here. And so Roseville is a home for me. And Roseville, during COVID, went by the person that was running the arena side of it. He retired. And then they asked me to take this position here. And it's kind of how I ended up back here, back in Roseville, back in my home, which is, it's definitely a family here at this arena. People come to visit us. They see our staff, our management. We've all been vested in this community most of our lives or played hockey here. So it means a lot to everybody in staff and management here. So
That's very cool. Chris, the one thing that I noticed when I was as there, you talk about family and community and stuff like that, is you guys have a little bit of something for everybody. You have the outdoor speed skating oval, which I learned is the largest in North America, as far as ice service that's refrigerated outdoors. You have obviously an indoor hockey arena, and you guys have something that's very, very unique. You guys play, it's bandy, correct?
correct. Yeah. So bandy's it's an interesting sport, and so if you're a soccer player and a hockey player, you'll get the concept of bandy. So yeah, the outdoor oval is 110,000 square feet of all refrigerated ice surface. So picture the center of that rink. You got an Olympic-sized speed skating rink, and then you have basically a soccer field-sized sheet of ice in the center. And so bandy is basically like playing on a soccer field. um, you have goalies. They look like normal hockey goalies, but they're missing one thing. They're missing a stick. They use their hands. They catch the ball like a soccer goalie would, and they can actually throw the ball down the ice. And they use larger nets, similar to a soccer net, not as big, but similar. And they look like hockey players, but the sticks are much different. As you've seen, if you watched it, it's a little J hook stick. It's got a hook on it. And so when you come from playing hockey and catching a puck, it is much, much different to try to use this little J hook stick. And you'll try to use it like a hockey stick. And guess what? You'll miss that little pink ball that they use every time. So it is a very unique sport. I think people get pretty excited to watch it for the first time, but it catches on. We have both the USA women's and men's teams that play out of this facility.
Very cool. That game, is that similar to soccer in the fact that you play 11 on 11, or is it 5 on 5? Like, what's the people out there on the field?
No, it's similar to soccer. It's like that, and then they even have like a corner kick in soccer. They have a corner shot that you use, and very similar, but you're skating and you're dressed like hockey players. So it's interesting.
Very cool. So, Chris, again, you guys have some very unique equipment because you have both indoor and outdoor facilities. You took me through, you showed me, you guys have two 700 machines with cabs, keep your drivers warm, things of that sort. What are the challenges as far as resurfacing both an oval, the bandy arena, and then obviously indoor is a different element all to its own?
Yeah, it is. Indoors, Indoors where I like to be. Let's just put it that way. And most of the people listening know that, your indoor rink it's a controlled environment. You have the best environment to deal with ice. The outdoor is an absolutely different animal, especially on a ice sheet this size. And it takes a lot of planning before you put that ice in. I mean, we're watching the weather. We need to know what the weather's going to do. It is an ammonia system out there. It has three very large screw compressors that run it. So it does. I mean, if you got rain coming in, you're not painting. We're putting this ice in at the end of October, first part of November, and that type of weather can be rain. It can be rain mixed with snow. You could have good days. You could have 60 degrees. We never know what we're going to face for weather conditions. So it's tough. Hey, for instance, I mean, I worked 20 straight hours when we were putting this thing in to get it in because we start to get the ice in, and then the temperature difference, we end up building a lot of frost on it, and then you're trying to deal with the frost, but yet trying to paint lines with paint sticks, and it's a task. It's a chore. Once you do get it in and get the paint down, I mean, it's a lot of white paint. It's a lot of paint to paint lines because we're painting speed skating lines. We're painting bandy lines. And it's a multi-use facility, like you say. We've got in the center during the week and weekends, we split it into 4 different hockey rinks using pads. So we have the youth groups and youth hockey associations using it for practices. And at the same time, you have speed skating going around at the same time they're practicing in the center. And then for bandy, you have to do a complete tear down and move all the pads out of the way, put the bandy boards up, the bandy goals out, pulling netting. It's a lot of work to be able to do it. But once you get that paint down and you seal it in, it's all tanker truck time. You flood it with the tanker truck, and we can get that done in a couple of days, usually to have the proper ice thickness that we need to open up. But like you say, anybody who deals with outdoor rinks, it's a challenge. And on this size of an ice sheet, it's every year is different. You're never going to have the same scenario year after year. So
It's funny you bring up every year's different. What is your typical? Obviously, you have some refrigeration out there, so that helps you. But that being said, with the weather and the temperatures and just the rain and the elements, what is a typical outdoor season for you guys?
So we try to be open by around the first weekend of November, usually by that Friday. That is our goal. And then right now we're actually in the final weekend. This weekend we will shut down after this weekend. So basically, you're looking at the first part of March. So first part of November to the first part of March. This time of year, the sun is just getting high enough. Even with refrigeration, it takes a beating on the ice, and so you just start to throw money out the door trying to refrigerate this. I mean, for instance, last year, we had no snow last year. We had a warm, very warm winter last year. You couldn't even have outdoor rinks, like recreational rinks in the park. So we had the only sheet of ice anybody could skate on. And yeah, we had a record year of attendance, but at the same time, you have a record year of energy costs on top of that. I think last November roughly was $60,000 just in energy cost alone to refrigerate that. So it's a lot. There's a lot involved.
So again, yeah, obviously you probably have a fantastic team that's helping put all this together. How many seasonal people do you bring in for this, and how big is your team just in general as far as executing the outdoor events?
Yeah, so I'm kind of the lone sailor in the indoor arena, and then I have some part timers that help me out. It's tough because not only am I the ice tech, I'm also the maintenance guy. So I'm also doing maintenance throughout the entire facility, whatever it needs to be done. I mean, it's from ice to HVAC to plumbing to anything. I'm very thankful to have Taylor. She was with me as a part timer at Edina, and she's fantastic. She picked up the art of ice making very quickly, and she loved it. And so, look, it's a blessing for me that Taylor was able to get hired here full time. And so, Taylor deals a lot with the outdoor ice, and we work together as a team. So you're looking at really two full-time staff members as far as working on your ice. We have another person named Micah who comes over from our golf course. He works at the golf course during the summer and works on the oval here as well. And what's awesome about Micah, as we talk about community and family, he was a part-timer here that grew up here and now holds a full-time position here at the city. And that's what we love about this part-time staff. So the Oval has quite a bit of staff members. The total number I don't really know, but it's a lot because we have skate guards, we have part-timers that are Zamboni operators who are the supervisors of those shifts. And so yeah, it takes a lot of people to put this show on over here.
So transitioning from outdoors to indoors, you guys just got a brand new 552 electric machine. Tell me about, what do you think about your brand new machine? Just showed up. You got it on the ice. Kind of, what are your thoughts and how's it going so far?
Yeah, so having a new machine is always a blessing, but I'll give you this. The one thing about Zamboni, it's resilient. The one we had was 10 years old. And it's like anything, it's how you take care of it. And Zamboni makes a machine, I believe, that is easy to work on. It's easy to service. It's easy to take care of. So I like that. So we're able to keep the Zambonis alive for many years. And the new machine, it's great. I mean, you look at Zamboni, what I love is you look at the options. Okay. I mean, everybody's got a budget. Here's your budget. Here's what you get to deal with. Whatever bells and whistles you want to have, but Zamboni has those bells and whistles to, I think, meet everybody's budget and need for their facility, which in our case, getting that laser leveling system was big. If anybody out there you know what it's like to maintain ice thickness. I've seen them when they first came out. I was able to go over to Tria and deal with some of the Minnesota Wild guys and looked at them when they first came out. And I think that option alone on the new machine is going to make life a lot easier for me as far as maintenance. And in these arenas, you're dealing with a lot of part-time staff. You may have a person that works one night a week or 2 nights a week. And this is going to help as far as ice maintenance, ice thickness, and keeping that great sheet of ice that we desire to have.
You're already noticing a difference with your level ice, just as far as the way it cuts and maintenance moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just, with the stainless options, we've seen in the day how, every city's different. Every city has different water that they're using, more corrosive, more hard, whatever it may be. But, being able to have stainless on your machine, whether it's the conditioner, your water piping and all that type of stuff, that's important, in the longevity of your machine as well.
So let's talk technology as well. You went from a machine that was 10 years old to a brand new machine. What other things are you noticing just as far as transitioning from what you had to what you're moving forward with?
Yeah, I think everything on the machine is, when you're used to a Zamboni, you're used to a Zamboni, but it's a smooth machine. That's what you notice right away, because as the machines get older, they get a little more rough. Things may not be working as accurately as I should say, but this seems to be a much more smoother machine. Like I say, the ice surface, the cutting, it's just tighter. Everything's tighter on an older machine. Even though you keep up with them, everything just seems to kind of get loose on them. And that's what I noticed. It's simplicity of the machine as well, which is key to operations like this. Like I say, you're using a lot of part-time staff. These you're 18 years old. You can start getting trained and driving a Zamboni. And we want to make these machines user-friendly for these operators that don't do this every day. They're not specifically going to school and train. They're trying to get through college. They're trying to get or it's a part-time job for them, Zamboni offers that to have a machine that is very user-friendly for people.
So, Chris, obviously, you've been doing this a long time. You're very knowledgeable about the machine and maintenance and everything that comes with it. We have a great partner in Minnesota in R&R Partners, R&R Specialties, who helps us out if we ever need some serious service type things done. What else do you do as far as keeping up with just trends and the technology and things that are coming down the pipeline? Is there anybody else who you bounce things off of or who you speak with?
Well, that's I'm actually happy that you mentioned R&R because they are, you know what, they're great guys, and we're fortunate because they're 25 minutes away from us in Wisconsin. Every year R&R puts on an annual training over there, a 2-day training. So that is a great opportunity right there to learn about the new technology that's coming out there, and then you're interacting with other operators and ice technicians from not just around the Twin City metro area. They're coming in from all over. And so it's really interesting to be able to talk to people about where they're at with their Zambonis. I mean, look, I talked to a guy in Chicago that says our rink's on the second floor and we have to have a forklift come out, and the Zamboni gets drove onto the forklift pallet and lowered down to ground level, so interesting to hear these stories, how people even have to get them in and out of a building. But that is one great place to learn about it. But also, U.S. Ice Rinks is another great source to be able to bond with other people all around the country and to be updated and to be able to go to trainings and seminars, annual shows, and to be able to see what's out there. So those are a couple of our best resources. And like I say, just talking to people within the community around you, other rinks. So
Awesome. So again, everybody wants to drive the Zamboni, right? Everybody has a memorable experience. Obviously, you're in your home rink where you grew up. Do you have a memorable experience you want to share with everybody of just kind of first experiences with a Zamboni or a fun experience or something like that in your rink?
well, I'll tell you, every day is an experience. I will tell you that. And we have many of them. We have good days, we have bad days, like anybody else. And I think the experiences for me, what is a blessing for me, is I have operators that want to learn, and they want to learn correctly. You can either be a driver, somebody who lays water, or you can be an operator, somebody that wants to continue to learn when knows to adjust the blade and when not to, and just things like that, and when to lay more water, when not to. But it's fun as we train. My experiences are watching new operators come in because everybody thinks you hop on a Zamboni and you just drive it. So you get the adult open hockey guys will come in and they'll razz on a new guy who maybe is struggling a little bit, and I say right to them, why don't you hop on that machine and show us how easy it is to drive? Look, I came from driving heavy equipment, farm equipment, all sorts of stuff. And when you first hop on a resurfacer, it's a strange piece of equipment to drive, that huge hood in front of you, and you can't see in certain areas, But my memorable experiences, is watching operators make mistakes. And some operators make every mistake they could possibly make before you can cut them loose. And other operators will make them. We forgot to put the box down when we were backing up, or we forgot to pick the conditioner when we were backing up. I didn't put the conditioner down all the way when I was making an ice make, or you don't turn the wash water pump on. The list goes on and on. Memorable experiences to me are working with new people and training them and teaching them to become not a person that can lay water, but an operator, one who actually understands the ice and how to take good care of it. I'm blessed because we get a lot of people that compliment on our ice when they come in here. And I think it's just going to continue to get better, especially with that laser leveling system, and the new machine and how tight that is and user friendly, as I mentioned, But one really memorable experience that I will share is this staff. this staff comes together and cares for one another. They're always there to cover for each other. Um, last year here in this arena, we experienced three tragedies with a hockey coach and a goaltender, and one of our employees that grew up here suffered a loss in a bad head-on collision. But you watch this arena and the people come together and to support each other. That's the environment that you have here at Roseville. It's a family, and that's how we love it. And so it's a pretty cool place. And we get a lot of people that come from out of town, southern states, wherever, to come up here to play hockey. And somehow they end up on this oval out here. And they think it's the coolest, the neatest thing, and they want to skate all day long. So it's a cool place to be, and definitely a family environment. I hope you felt that in your short stay here, but that's the way we like it.
It's an incredible thing, and obviously, your passion, the way you speak about it, it's really telling. So, no, I really enjoyed my time coming and visiting you and getting to see. Again, it's an amazing facility, both indoor and outdoor. Anybody who's in the Roseville, Minnesota area should definitely stop by and check it out. But yeah, Chris, we won't take up too much more of your time. I'm sure you have a resurface here to do at some point that you got to get back on the machine, but yeah, thank you so much, and we're glad you like it, and hope you enjoy your new machine.
Oh man, we love it. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate your support. It's fantastic, and we're just very grateful. So, thank you to everybody, the whole entire crew at Zamboni. Thank you so much for everything.